Good evening, everyone. Today is one of probably our last interviews with Team Israel. We have Yotam. Didn't butcher your name, I assume so. So say hi, introduce yourself, the team.
Hey Ivan, thank you for doing this. Uh, I'm Yotam Echinger from Team Israel. We got an exciting team this year. Bunch of Israelis playing Game of Thrones.
What?
We are a
Yeah.
bunch of Israelis playing Game of Thrones,
Oh yeah,
which is
that
actually
true for
relatively
everyone else, but not the
because
Israeli part.
we, we didn't know each other before this, so we all met each other for this and then just started getting around. So there was no meta in Israel before it, and now we are quite a lot, much more people than we actually expected.
Oh, that's great news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you participate last year?
No, we weren't a team last year. There were really not a lot of Israelis playing this, not a lot of Israelis playing the second edition also. So if you look at our team, I think maybe 3 or 4 of our people won. They're totally new players, and
Okay.
they got on board for this. So yeah, we didn't play last year.
Okay. Then what is the drive this year to play? What's the goal in the end? Do you have some goal set up for you, like making the cut, top 8, final maybe? Or
I
just
think we want to win it, but we would settle down for second place. Second place would be a good run for us. I
okay.
know you guys have a good team this year, so we're fine with doing a rematch and losing.
Uh, we didn't have team last year, so we managed to gather for this year. Actually, last year we tried to have a team, but we didn't get enough players. This year around, like the moment Anil said he's doing it, I started hunting down people in let's play, let's play, let's play. Those that wanted to play last year now are not on the team because
Yeah,
they told me I took it way too serious or something along those lines. Because I wanted to perform, we made a survey within the team. So are we playing for fun or do we want to perform? And when we decided that we actually want to perform, it's not like something we want to just do in the evening. Then some players decided to drop, but we still managed to find 9 people and we have few reserves. I don't expect them to play, but we'll see.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of because of those our open decks. Practice has a huge function here of how good the team plays. Much
Mm-hmm.
better than a regular tournament. So yeah, getting the players to play a lot and get everyone committed, that's a huge chunk of how good the team can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely it's a dedication. So how are you approaching it? I know you're training a lot every time. At least when we had our match last week, both teams were constantly there and playing and testing the hard matchups. So is it like this every time?
Well, we just try to have people enjoy playing and have them play the game, then people practice. Uh, it's really other than try to have people have fun. It's really hard. I don't know any other way to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how then you said it was a limited that now there are more people than last year, for example. So how did you choose your players or everyone that wanted to play?
So it's kinda of a miracle the fact that we formed up 9 people. I think roughly like 3 weeks before the deadline, I figured out it would be cool if we get a Team Israel actually happening. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started looking for players. So I knew there is another Israeli in San Francisco. I contacted him, uh, but I could not locate any others. So I actually asked Anil for a waiver to get Jewish people from America. Uh,
Oh, that
and that
explains.
yeah, so we got Sprout on board and team, and we got Glazer. Aaron Glazer is Jewish and he's a big chunk of this team, but he's not playing. It's just like on a backstage reporter.
Okay.
And then we pushed it up to 5 people. We're still missing 9, but that was enough for the cut. And then I just started roaming like random Facebook pages for people who like card games, Magic the Gathering. I actually contacted a bunch of people from Magic the Gathering that played competitive, but none of them wanted to play this. And then I found a board game Facebook group. People that 2 of our players have been playing continuously for 20 years. They've been opening up boosters back before version 1.
So they're playing from the CCG then. That's a rare find.
Yeah, yeah, they have all the cards. They bought them. They playing. They have like a mini group of 5 people that they play occasionally, and they've been doing it for 20 years, but they never made it all the way through to V2 version 2, or very very rarely. And then I found them, and I found a few other people, and we got ourselves a full team on board of people who actually love this game quite a lot, which is why they like to practice it.
Well, I mean, great news to be honest that you managed to some community-driven event. There is a lot of wolf in it, definitely from Anil, from Kritus, who is organizing all the Excel magic that there is. So that's great to hear that now you have a playing meta there.
Yeah, of course. We just need to figure out a shop that would sell us the cards, and then that's it. We start everything.
To tell you the truth, we don't have a shop that sells the cards. We order them and it's a nightmare. But if there is a will, there is a way. So yeah, and this been for like the first edition and the second edition with us. So we always order, we need 10 people, so all of us order packs and I want this pack, I don't want this pack, and so on. So it was
okay.
like that the whole time since I'm playing. I don't remember how long already. But yeah. So how did you guys enjoy the ban and restricted list then?
I really like the restricted list. I think Anil did a great job. I think he did a revision, almost his last revision was even better, but I think just taking Kingdom of Shadows and Sea of Blood under control really opened it up for so many interesting decking. It was much more interesting than regular deck building for a tournament where you know that the meta is being dominated by something.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Would you add, if you wanna change one thing, what would it be?
For the restricted list,
Yes.
I think Tyrell has been hit too hard. Both Tyrell and Nightwatch have been hit too hard. You can probably release Klydas and open up the door for choke deck. And you gotta be able to do something. I think Guile, unexpected Guile, especially with of Shadows being being banned.
I do realize you wanna make your deck stronger, but no, I am against it.
Well, that's it. You know, you make a change in the restricted list. You have 2 people and you have 4 opinions. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
At the end, the game needs to be playable. I think the idea to make to restrict us to 1 banner per team, 1 agenda per team, was very smart and make the entire experience much. Yeah, I think Anil is running it very nicely.
Great to hear. He'll be also pleased to hear it. So, how did you approach the agenda combination? Was there something that? So, what basically told you? What Terran told you to play? That's the question.
Well, we build up. We did some brainstorming. We figured out what's the strongest 2 or 3 options per agenda, per section, and then we just kind of matched the people's style because we had so many people who weren't really playing or playing a lot. We had to figure out what would be alright for everyone in terms of the style, and then we just it just built itself. I think I think we got the list finalized like a day before it was due.
Like everyone else, don't worry about that. It was like, yeah, final list were on the day on the registration, so for us
Yeah.
at least. So
Yeah.
then, were there agendas that you were sure you're going to play, for example? Or what was the most strong or more consistent? What was the goal there? Looking for consistent agendas and combinations, or the ones that are strong in for like 60% of the matchups, 70?
I was looking for stuff that people would like. I was looking for the style. For example, we don't have Stark Steel. So personally, I think Stark Steel is the strongest deck out there. But people like to play Burn, so by all means, don't. I think it's more important to have a player happy about what he's playing and enjoy the type of the deck he's playing and the game style than just choosing the strongest possible deck out there.
Okay, makes sense, makes sense. So then Mystery Knight, how was that chosen? I faced him. So how did you end up with Martel Wolf, I think?
Um, I would love to come up with a smart answer for that, but that's also one of the stuff that builds themselves. We were able to fit everyone a role, and Scott was available with lots of different options. So just played whatever he felt most comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. And so that ended Big Martel Wolf. Okay. Then for a first time like experiencing the order of the factions and stuff like that, how did you approach that? Completely random, try to figure out
Almost,
counters?
yeah, almost randomly. I tried to figure it out. I opened up last year. I looked at the ordering last year. To be honest, the ordering last year looked completely random. So I figured out whatever I'll do here would probably be random. So just almost randomize it.
Okay, great. So I haven't looked in much detail this year if there are same choices between some of the countries, but I think there are not. There is not enough variety there. Now we're gonna jump to the deck overviews like usually, and first is Baratheon. So Baratheon trading with Kufor.
Yeah, Barakor is quite standard. Enclave is an option, but I feel like Barakor is the strongest Baratheon out there right now. The restricted list didn't do enough, I think. It definitely made the deck weaker, but I don't think it's done enough, so we're happy to play it.
Okay, then why Celis over King in the North?
Oh, Shalish is the engine. King in the North is nice, but really your ability to get Shalish and then just dump in cheat econ just like a Targaryen, and it's unique. Yeah, she can just win you the match. Getting Shalish on setup, and then Hearth to the throne, one of the charts for him, then just dump 3 or 4 attachments with King that wins matches.
Okay, fair enough. I don't recall our matchups, so I don't know if the cohort won or didn't. Do you recall what was the cohort matchup for our game?
Well, we lost our core matchup, but at least just makes the deck widely stronger than King of the North, in my opinion.
Just
I,
I'm always asking because we made the other choice in the last minute. Like in
yeah,
the end, we switched to King in the North and did some other stuff with the deck. And I'm very happy with that choice. I like the bot a lot more than AC list, but that's just my playstyle. Like if I have the option to play my restricted card in the pot deck, my restricted card goes in the pot deck because it's when I need it and not when I draw it. So, but that's just my approach to the situations. Okay, next.
but you don't do that, for example, in a Targaryen deck. You
Why?
won't take King in the North in a Targaryen deck. You would usually take, yeah,
Depends. Depends a lot on the faction. I mean, usually as a Nightwatch loyalist, I've always looked to like my most used and most restricted card that brought me is Breaking Ties, just because I could utilize it the best of everything else that was restricted at that time of the play. Considering Ward, the first time when I had some marginal success was Ward wasn't still restricted, so it was Nightwatch Wolf. Then it was Nightwatch Knight of the Hollow Hill with Yoren and Bound, and then restricted was again Breaking Ties. So if I have a choice, I'm going always there. Okay.
Playing a Yoren, breaking side, taking a loyal, breaking side the loyal, breaking side the Yoren, playing another Yoren is just great.
Yep. So, Prince that was promised. Why not Crossing? Where did the Crossing go?
We wanted to take the Crossing for Lannister. We were struggling with finding a good solution for the Lannister. And then Prince that was promised is basically, I think, the second best option for Greyjoy.
Okay.
Yeah. In retrospect, I think maybe going Lannister Kraken, like some of the teams have done, and then getting the Crossing for Greyjoy might have been the strongest option out there. But you know, we didn't figure it out at the time.
I think I don't know if anyone expected Wani Kraken to be that strong or to be played. I mean, obviously, the more developed metas like USA, Canada, and who else playing it? There was someone else playing it as well. I mean, the variety of players brings that diversity and knowledge, but in the smaller metas, people play what they're comfortable with. So yeah.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Always asking this question: is it always Balon the prince?
By default, it's Balon. We haven't said the match because we did something else. I heard Jeff saying that for Team USA, the prince would be Zeke when it's builder. It actually makes lots of sense. Just because you can kneel the wall. But not yet. Yeah, I think by Balon is just such a beast.
That is true.
When you can get him going.
I mean, in testing where we had Burn versus Prince, we tested what happens if the Prince is Victorian, for example, because he's harder to burn, and that proved to work to some extent. But and you still have access to Renown.
Greyjoy big guys are so good.
Yeah,
What?
all of them are very good, so it doesn't, basically almost doesn't matter what you choose there, they'll probably pull through. Next.
You can also Prince Explosion, but you can build the Prince deck around any one of those five guys probably.
So now to the Wani Crossing.
Yeah.
As mentioned, probably the strongest Wani deck at the moment, or is it?
But I only figured it out after.
So
Many shadows stuff is the strongest.
You're breaking up. Give it a second. You should probably stabilize at the moment.
Hello?
Hello? I mean, you're just breaking a little bit. So without the shadows, then is it crossing?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I just Son?
Yes. One second, guys. Back to the Wani deck.
Yeah, it's a relatively standard. We actually
It broke up again.
Don't DP, which is actually much nicer than our previous version. Probably because of the insight on Chiswick and Pythel that should go in here. So we kind of switched and made some adjustments to this version and took this one.
Okay, yeah. I'm happy to see Pythel being 3 times and 3 pounds in the deck. So 3 pounds make the deck pretty much work from another perspective as well, aside from Cersei, of course.
Third pound is excellent. Probably should have gone 2x in this one because we run Chiswick and Pythel and Gunther, which all very good with third pound.
Iquar, Hound, Merin, Bilbon, all of them. It's amazing.
Yeah, but if you get an insight challenge 3 times, if you get a character with insight 3 challenges, that's pretty game winning move.
Yeah, definitely. So now tell me about your deck. Why Martel Wyan? We saw you play this at Dance. Was it at Dance?
Yeah, I've been having this idea, I think, before Worlds. I wanted to bring it to Worlds, but there was just too much Sea of Blood to make it viable. And the moment they took Sea of Blood out, the deck just finished building itself. It's just a deck that stalled the game for like 6 or 7 turns and pump up the Iron Bank like crazy, protect it. And then once you got infinite gold from the Iron Bank, you basically win the game by playing the offense and the foul. And what I learned by working on this deck is that with 0 power on your faction card the entire game, and with running fortified position and uneasy truth, it's really hard for the opponent to push to 15 fast enough, and then you can just stall it almost very reliably.
So
they can't just blow it with blood.
I have just one question. That's what happens if opponent plays Muren Mure?
Say what?
If opponents plays Muren Mure, Meister Muren Mure.
Oh, you got a Red Keep, you got Begging Brothers, you got Milk of Coffee.
It's 1 milk. Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough.
You get so much draw here that it's insane, because with the secret skins and the fact that the opponent needs to win like 15 challenges just to make it to like 7 power. You get the Dorn to get you whatever you want, you have the building orders, you draw way more than your entire deck. You see all of your solutions. You just need to stall it. Especially when people don't know the game, don't know what they're against, then they're not rushing the crazy. The biggest counter here would be a Night Rush, where they just play Tony for the king and get 3 down on like 8 knights and win it in 1 turn.
Okay, give me a second. No, audio seems fine. Can you talk a little bit? For the deck, I want to hear the audio. For the deck,
Yeah,
I want to hear.
what do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, no, audio is fine on the stream. Your Ariel, I don't know, it's one of your players told that audio doesn't work. And I got scared for a second. So audio seems fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we got confirmation. Next, Martel Wolf. I hate this deck with passion. I lost all training games versus this deck. I was so desperate that I'm not going to win that game. Thank God I won it. I was so happy because it was the 5th win at that time. I didn't know what happened with the other games. It was the 5th win for us, and I thought, oh, thank God, from a hard matchup.
Yeah. You got it on time, I think, right? And you
Yes.
almost went down to cards in deck. We had like 10 cards, they had like 8 cards.
Yep, I would have won on time, on dominance, and on cards definitely. But this doesn't change the fact that the matchup is terrible for me. Was terrible for my puny meisters. It was just a stroke of luck. Then the deck decided that let's work a little bit, and that opponent's deck didn't work at all. That I can. Scott doesn't feel bad or anything. His deck just decided not to work. So
Yeah.
So, Martel
Yeah.
Wolf, what's the different thing here?
I think Carl that's a bit of a twist and to regular Martel.
I mean, Carhold and Desert Raider are best friends. Definitely.
Yeah, Desert Raider. Desert Raider is coming out of the restricted list, and then getting Sea of Blood under control, getting Shadows under control, basically brought back Martel Wolf, which is a wonderful deck that hasn't been played for the last I don't know year or something like that. I think since Leonard won World with that.
It's seen a little bit play here and there, but yeah, definitely not on no big showings of it. But currently, it's probably one of the other most often chosen knights, mystery knights. Currently, most of
Yeah, Martel Wolf is good. Martel Wolf is good. In my opinion, Martel Lion is good. I think that's basically where Martel is right now. But this is way better than where Martel were like at Worlds a year ago or 4 months ago.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a fun section.
I do not agree with this. It's fun if you're playing it not versus Martel. It's always like they can have 10 different scary
Yeah,
things.
you know, some strange people like Nightwatch 6 Gold War steals that.
Yeah, but she costs 6 and it's easy to control, and against deck that has 10 characters in it, it doesn't do anything. So
Yeah.
it's not that deck is not that easy as you make it sound to play. Someone who played it for like 2 years in a row, that deck is not easy to play. Next.
No deck is easy. Only good players make deck easy.
I do not agree. Every crossing deck is easy to play. That's my thing. So builders, another easy to play deck. Builders.
Builders. Yeah, good old builders. I think builders are the best Nightwatch option. I was actually surprised how strong builders are.
Insanely strong.
In retrospect, it might have been smart to double up on builders. Just like some matches are basically relatively easy wins.
Yeah, but
builders.
that is true. But then again, builders needs a specific mindset of playing. I cannot play builders for the life of me. I can play a regular defense with a little bit of tricks, but I cannot play builders. It's so out of my.
Yeah.
I mean, I can play it. I don't feel comfortable with it. So that's why I'm, for example, on Conclave. Because that's more my alley. Like I can do things in all phases. We are given phases to do things in them. So if I can do in every phase one thing, then I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, if you ever make it to Team Israel, you won't need to play builders.
Yeah, we saw it has some hard matchups from a little bit of experience. So, is it just the luck of the draw, or?
We've been thinking if we want to make builders a summer board, but we don't have goals taken. And then we felt like summer would make it more. Basically, they just need to flood the board, and it would make it a bit easier and consistent, more stable than wars. Other than that, the deck is pretty much standard. I think.
Yep.
Here and there, some modifications might be needed, but that's just like improvements by testing. Like now we're against Lani Kraken, so I definitely want Seized by the Guard in there, but we don't have it. But Yeah, it's just like get those shots out there.
There is lay
Make them.
siege, so that may help. Lay siege
There is lay
nightmare.
waste, but then yeah, there is lay waste. But if we lay waste the red kits, then we just get balls. If we lay waste balls, then whatever. They just steal at the red kit.
Mhm.
So
Yep. Sometimes it's difficult to play those lay wastes. Definitely, especially in the Martel matchup. I hate to laying waste the Dorm because then comes Venomous Blade and then you're dead. So
yeah, I don't. I run in my Marcel deck. I run two lay waste, but I found out it's only useful for attachment control.
yeah.
You want to get Azura's Eye maybe out, or you want to get Seized by the Guard, but you don't want to touch the big cards. Don't want to touch the Dorn. You don't want to touch the. You just get something as worth in return. You're losing a card and you're paying for it.
Then okay, next we have Stark Fealty, not Crossing, like everyone else. So why Fealty? Aside that the Crossing is taken.
Yeah, Crossing was taken. Fealty is a very solid option. Card.
Definitely interesting choice of restricted card. Why Bear Island Scout instead of Mirror?
The rationale was let's get Swayman out there, let's get Fat Cat, and then we get him lots of easy stack targets for Fat Cat and for Rob. Basically, we can swarm the boards and then just stack them and keep the stack mechanism going. Mira is useful. Now that we test against Mira, we find her very useful. So I'm not sure. It's when we built the deck, we were leaning towards the Bear Island Scout. But at the end, the team enjoyed playing them more than he enjoyed playing Mira, so we went with that.
Okay, definitely interesting choice. Something that now that I see is that it's missing the, if you're running Bear Island Scout, it's missing, for example, the She-Bears that give you that burst economy.
Yeah, but it has the Alicane and the Daisy, which you usually get with them. Yeah. This economy is we prefer to take the 4 gold renown, so it has like 3 characters for the renown, rather than getting the Shibari in there, and then it was pretty tight with the rest of the characters.
Okay, fair enough. 3 times Bodyguard, 3 times Milk. I assume Caitlyn is that important. And Vyman.
Bodyguard was important. Bodyguard was important because return was taken back. And Milk, you never regret having Milk, especially when you take Shadows out of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Milk is... I wish I ran a little bit more Milks and Cravens in my deck, but then I cannot win a single challenge on offense, so...
Well, that's when you build a deck, it's always those questions. Do you want 10 Judgment? You don't want 10 Judgment. Heck, you know.
Yeah. Targaryen House with the Red Door, Dragon Pit. That's a deck that we also run.
Yeah. You also run the Assault. We tested between... Targaryen player wanted to play Burn, so, and Filthy was... so it was either the Red Door or Assault. He did the testing on both, and he liked the Red Door more. So we went with the Red Door. It's a strong deck. The Burn is very fun.
We are having trouble with our Red Door deck, I don't know why. It's either unlucky or series of unfortunate events, I don't know. I watched all the games. The first one, okay, he lost it, but then the next one, it was really felt unlucky. To either draw only events, that was one of the cases, or then... So we are a little bit struggling, but the deck is, as you mentioned, very strong and we like it a lot, so... Bulgaria likes its burn for some reason.
Dragon Pit plus Dany and Blood of the Dragon, just like, almost certain with.
Why? Why only one Drogo? Minor. Yeah. Why only one Drogo, for example? I see a single Drogo.
We have a single Drogon. We have 3 Drogon.
No, Drogo, cow Drogo.
Oh,
He's not a dragon.
well,
Yep.
yeah, that's personal preference.
Yeah, it's probably preference and interesting choice of events, isn't? Don't you feel that 14 is a little bit on the high end?
The what? The number of events?
Yes, isn't it a little bit on the high end?
It is on the high end, but you want to play zone if you got the Daenerys on the board. So you usually don't regret having events when you got a Daenerys.
True. And having any face events is good. So
That's what?
having an action events is good, not all because Consuming Flame Dracarys and Incinerate need a participating character around which you can play. Then Fire and Blood and Dragon is no Slave and Shadow Blades don't need that. So
You build a assault deck to trigger the Marine over on a actually, then you just dump stuff into the shadows. But if you build the Ardor deck, you wanna often trigger the Marine on challenges. Then if you trigger the Marine on challenges, many times you want lots of events.
yeah. Fair. And last deck, Voltron.
Yeah.
Or is it Voltron?
We were struggling with finding a good solution for the rail. This is actually Hanno's deck. I consulted him, and then he said, "Oh, yes, I have a great Red Door great dragon deck." And this is actually beautiful deck, really beautiful. I was underestimated. Like, I knew that mercenary contracts and bribery are strong, but when you put inside the informer for the filtering, and you add wills within wills to either get Gift of the Widow and get mercenary contracts, or to get bribery straight up, this deck just becomes a beast versus anyone that want to hold the board. And luckily, with Sea of Blood out there and Kingdom of Shadows out there, many people wanna just get board present. So yeah, I think it's a good one.
And definitely a very interesting choice here. So then, why didn't it reach Alliance for Qohor?
What?
Why didn't it get Alliance Qohor in? I know, because we cannot play Qohor a second time. Ignore me.
Yeah, but also Alliance bring you up to 75 cards, and it's very hard to make Alliance work. If you don't need it, like Giannis needed in his Martel Stag Kraken, then usually you don't want to get close to Alliance.
Yeah. Okay. Then thank you for the interview. Any closing words?
Sorry?
Any closing words?
Yeah, I want to thank you for doing all of those interviews, doing all of the training. This is right on the spot. And he said so much, not only you, everyone doing the streaming, doing the media, doing the talking, doing the articles. It all adds so much buzz to the tournament, which is really makes it much more fun. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. So thank you everyone for joining us. That we ran a little bit too long with Yotam, but hey. So thank you all. Last interview that I'm currently aware of will be with Greece, but their captain has a technical difficulty, so we are waiting for him to resolve them. So I assume sometime within the week we'll have the Greece interview, and maybe that will be the last one. Other people straight out, some of them refused me, so we'll see. But I think we covered all the teams. We got a lot of interesting feedback and insight how people approach the World Cup. So yeah. Thank you for joining. Stay healthy See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye, Ivan.